I thought it was interesting when you told me that, you had, at the time when we were watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it seemed like a very charmed life, right? It didn't seem like, you were very, very privileged. And it was interesting is that you had told me, I had this black Amex card. I really could spend whatever I want. And you did. But what was interesting, your husband was very controlling and very financially dominating. And you told me last night, which was interesting, at the end of the month, when he got the credit card statements, what would happen?
He would call me into his office and pull up my credit card statement, and then we'd go line by line, and he'd want to know who I was with on every occasion. You were at Starbucks and you spent $15.60. Now, I know you don't eat that much at Starbucks, so who were you with having coffee? You were at the Beverly Hills Hotel and spent $140. Who were you with? And he would go line by line, and that is a form of control. So often, financial abuse is such a huge form of control in domestic situations.
That's insane. So this was a monthly regular occurrence where he doesn't really care if you're at Barney's and you're spending $6,000, but where he's concerned is restaurants, coffee, bars. Who are you with?
Who are you with?
Wow. So was he tremendously insecure?
I think
or just controlling.
Narcissistic and so controlling, very, very jealous. I remember being in a facial one day and him calling me, and I had like one of those masks on and trying to have a conversation with him, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm literally getting a facial. Like, do you want to talk to the person who's giving me the facial?" And unfortunately, it was a man, which started a whole new thing. And I'm like, "I'm at the face place. Right. Nothing is going down here, I promise." Yeah. But it was like that all the time. The phone just ringing and ringing and ringing, and
keeping tabs on you
all the time. And also lots of recording devices in my cars, in my houses, monitoring.
Really?
Yeah. He eventually had me take a polygraph test.
Wow. It's so interesting also that I'm thinking back now because I also watched from the very beginning, and he was actually in a lot of scenes. I would have thought that he wouldn't even allow you to do a show like this.
Yeah. Why did he allow you to do that show?
Narcissistic. He thought that the world would love him. He was very charming when he wanted to be. And I think he thought the world would only see the good side of him. And in retrospect, for me, I think that one of the reasons I went on the show is he could be so good. And when the cameras were around, I thought maybe he would be the better form of himself because he wanted the world to love him. When we would go out to dinner with friends, abusers don't act out in public. They want to be loved. They act out in private. So what better way to have my whole life public than to have cameras around me and tons of friends?
So it's even safer for you in that respect. That makes sense to me.
And it wasn't conscious at the time. It's just in reflection. I think that was part of my thinking.